Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be the strongest word in the English language. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So can you guess what the strongest word in the English language is? I'll bet you can. That's right. It's the one word the narcissist does not want to hear ever, and it is no. No is the strongest word in the English language, and I will explain to you in this video why. First of all, many people are not accustomed to saying that word no. They're really sincerely not. Many people are accustomed to being people pleasers or to just agreeing with other individuals and to not standing up for themselves and having boundaries. Now, when I say standing up, I'm not saying confront individuals, confrontational. I'm saying just say no. So let's dig into that. When you say no, keep in mind, when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. That is a key pivotal part of the whole thing of no. So example, let's say you have an energy vampire who is flying all around you. They've been flying around you since you got your driver's license, and what are they doing? They want you to be their unpaid helper and their chauffeur, and they want you to be their errand person and go take them to the store and waste your time while you're sitting in the parking lot and they're shopping and doing whatever they're doing, and you're giving them a ride to the grocery store, as an example. I hear this frequently, things like this. Well, what happens? You got accustomed to it, to giving them the ride, and now it's become an expectation that you will give them the ride. So if you say to that individual, let's say they ask you right now, hey, give me a lift to the store, would you mind? And you said no, then what's gonna happen there? Well, it's gonna take them aback. They're gonna be like, what are you talking about? You always say yes. You're not doing anything. What's going on? Just give me a ride. What's the big deal? You always do it. Well, now what have you done? You've now learned that no is good for you and that you shouldn't be spending your time, money, or resources to accommodate another individual if that relationship isn't reciprocal. And in this case, it's not, as the example. But the person now is like, well, what's going on here? Like, why won't you give me a ride? And then you're so used to explaining yourself and breaking down. And maybe you're saying, hey, last time you didn't give me gas money. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And they're like, oh, I'll give you gas money, no problem. And you're like, okay, let's go. And then when you go, you don't get the gas money. So this cycle, this behavior continues over and over again. But when you finally say no, then the person is like, well, I don't get it, what's going on? That's when that person is gonna reveal themselves. That's when they're gonna show you who they really are. Are they going to be somebody who respects the word no and just say, okay, hey, I understand. Thanks for all the rides you gave me in the past. I'll ask somebody else. Or are they gonna try and break you down and say, hey, come on, you've always done it. What's the big deal? If they're pushing your boundaries, I will tell you right now, that's an individual that you should not keep in your life, because that individual has gotten accustomed to you being the unpaid helper and the errand person and the person that gives them rides. Now that's a long example, but it happens frequently. Insert anything you want to. It can be on the telephone. It can be someone calling you up on a Friday night, consuming your energy. It can be a person giving you a ride to the airport, whatever. But no is powerful, and the more you say the word no to poor behaviors or circumstances that don't benefit you, I'll give you another example in a moment of being invited to a holiday party, the stronger you get and the less toxicity will be around you, because what you're doing when you say no is you're putting a boundary in place, whether you know it or not. And when you do it once, then you do it again with another individual, it gets easier and easier over time. Now let's flip it for a moment before I give you the example. Let's use the smartphone. Many times in the channel, I suggest to people to go no contact, block the narcissist, delete all flying monkeys and people associated with them. The reason I suggest that is because number one, it works. And number two, you don't want toxicity in your life once you've figured out what narcissism is and how it affected you for a period of time. Very simple behaviors. But many people don't want to go the no contact, many people don't want to go the blocking route. I get it. If you don't want to block somebody, don't block them. But think about what I'm sharing with you. If you don't block them and they still have the ability to contact you, call you, text you, whatever, what are they doing? That's right, they're stealing your energy. So that's why no is a very powerful word. Getting back on track, let's say that, as we know, the holidays are approaching. Let's say you have a family member who you don't want to be seeing, or you don't want to be attending a certain event in the next couple months. But there's pressure on you to go to the event. Maybe you have to go visit your mom or your dad or a sibling or somebody in a different state or country. Okay, well, you've always done it. You've always gone. Why? Because that was the expectation placed upon you. But now on my channel, you're getting the wisdom. You're applying the tools, and you understand that, wait a minute, I don't have to go to that function this year. I don't have to see these toxic people if I don't want to go. I can do what? That's right, I can say no. So now this would be a test for you, and this probably applies to most of you out there in one way or another, or someone you know, certainly. When you say no to going to that family function because you don't want to be around the toxicity of your own family, as an example, what happens? Well, then everyone's complaining that you're not going. Why aren't you going? What's going on? You never show up, and they try and guilt you into things. Well, that has worked for them in the past. They've guilted you into attending these get-togethers or events or holidays. But now you don't go. Why? Because nothing's changed over the course of your lifetime. Every time you drive 10 or 12 hours to go visit someone who doesn't care about you, and they're on their smartphone at a certain dinner, holiday dinner, not even talking to you or asking you how you're doing or how your family is, you realize that they don't care about you. They just want you around. And why do they want you around? Because they want to abuse you and ignore you and have you drive 15 hours or 10 hours, waste your time, money, energy, effort, gas, everything, because that's what they're accustomed to. So now when you say no to that and you don't explain yourself, you just say, no, I can't make it this year. Now see what the next behavior is on their part. Do they say something like, oh, I understand, that's fine. Well, let's just jump on a Zoom call for an hour or half hour and connect with everybody from where you are. Sounds good. I get it. Maybe you can't make it this year, no problem. Or are they hammering you, saying, what are you talking about? You have time? I know you do. And you're supposed to bring up gifts. You're supposed to be giving me all the expensive gifts that you bought me, and you're supposed to be up here being around me. If they're guilting you, that is not a good thing. Remember, you don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe one person on this planet anything. Nobody. Not one person. Play it again. You owe yourself sanity. You owe yourself clarity. You owe yourself peace and harmony. You owe yourself peace of mind. You no longer should be tolerating poor behaviors or toxic behaviors from anybody. And when you say no to individuals or circumstances, it benefits you. It really, sincerely does. That last example, I can assure you, it resonates with many of you. Please drop comments below. Pay it forward. No is another thing. Like when you say it, you're putting up a boundary. Let's take the workplace for a minute. You're working, you're doing the best you can, and you're about to get a pay raise or a promotion or a holiday bonus, whatever it is. And then lo and behold, the narcissist, your boss, they dump a mountain of work on your desk. And they say, hey, guess what? I know it's whatever the date is, and I know this usually would take you about 3 months to do, but we need it by next week. So can you do it? And you know, your bonus and your pay raise and everything's riding on it. And you're like, wait a minute, I've already done everything I need to be doing for this calendar year, just like we talked about, and I am entitled to that bonus or pay raise, whatever. Now you're holding it over my head and you're giving me work of 5 or 10 people to be done over a 2-month period of time, which I have to do in under a week. Why? Because number one, because I can do it, but number two, no, that's not fair. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna cower into the boss because he's withholding your pay raise or whatever it's gonna be, your circumstances? And again, if you do that behavior, then you may not even get the bonus anyway, because in the past you were never given the bonus. It was just like a dangling carrot being strung in front of you, so you would continue to work harder. In other words, it was a moving goalpost. And that's what these narcissistic bosses do so many times. Or this time, are you going to put up a boundary and say, I can't do it. I'm unavailable. I have plans, and you're gonna have to find someone else to do that, because that is not in my job description. And yes, I need my job, and yes, I'm great at my job, and yes, you know both of those things are true, but I'm not taking on another worker's job responsibility, and I'm not bailing you out of this one. So good luck to you. In other words, you can become unavailable, but what you can do is you can say no. Now, then you can see what the narcissist does. Are they going to continue to hammer you and pepper you? I don't know. Are they going to back down? I can't tell you that. But the thing is, when you say no, that puts a boundary in place. And maybe next year, they'll try and dump that workload on somebody else. And maybe next year, you'll have a better job in a different company. That's my hope, because you should not have a narcissistic boss at all. These are some of the most challenging and trying and difficult people to deal with, because you're in a position where you need your job. You're in a position where you spend a lot of time with them on a day-to-day basis. They do get to know you, your family, your circumstances, what you have done, what you haven't done, your health and everything. And what do? They get supply from you being in the same office location with them for 5 days a week. And even that isn't good enough for them, because many times they pepper you over the weekends or holidays or your birthday and ask you to do other workloads. Why? Because they can. And what are they doing? They're in the Bahamas on a boat, surfing or diving, swimming, snorkeling, and you're stuck at the office doing work, and they're getting all the money from the work you're doing. This is exactly what these people do. But having said that, no is the strongest word in the English language. When you say no to something or someone, you're saying yes to yourself. Now, I mention that frequently on the channel because it's a fact. Many of us in the community are empaths. Many of us in the community don't have boundaries, or didn't have boundaries, or are learning boundaries. And no is a pivotal part of placing boundaries in place to benefit you. The narcissist does not like the word no. Remember, when you're in the relationship with them, they expected you to do everything on your time to benefit them to the detriment of yourself. That's why you were the unpaid helper. That's why you were the walking apology. That's why you didn't have boundaries. That's why you couldn't say no. But now, post-narcissistic relationship, You're getting the tools on my channel. You are applying the wisdom, and you're understanding that your energy is priceless and that the narcissist took this from you for a period of time. No longer can they take it from you because you are saying what word? That's right, you are saying no. So many examples here. I will just share this one before I get ready to close the video. If you're doing anything on a day-to-day basis, putting narcissism on the side, but if you're doing anything on a day-to-day basis that you don't want to be doing, example, let's say that you have to attend a certain class, you're attending a hobby or a class or something just because you paid a little bit of money for it. And I know money's tight, I get it. I'm just saying that you signed up for a class that you know it's not going to serve you, it's not what you thought it was, but yet you keep going because you think that you have to get your money's worth out of it, but it's not benefiting you. And let's say there are toxic people there. Really consider, should you cut your losses? Should you attend that course or class, whatever it is? And should you now do things that you want to do? That example is an example I hear frequently. People sign up for courses or classes, or they are looking for wisdom, let's put it that way, and they pay a lot of money to get courses or classes. And then they find out once they get them, it's not what they thought they were, and they overpay. So what can you do there? A couple things. One, you can ask for your money back because there should be some kind of guarantee. But second of all, if it's not serving you, you shouldn't do it. And you shouldn't do it just because you paid a lot of money for it. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm letting you know that we all make mistakes, and not everything on this planet is as it appears. And with courses and classes, it's no different. So having said all these things, no is a pivotal part. Remember, very simple things. Can you give someone a lift to the airport? Well, have they given you rides to the airport in the past? Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, you got it. I have time. I can do it. But are you going to rearrange your whole schedule to accommodate somebody to give them a ride to the airport? I don't think that's a good idea. It either fits into your schedule or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, you say no. It's that simple. Because so many people, again, on the channel, in the community, are not accustomed to being strong enough to say no. They are people pleasers. They are yes people. They're people that don't want to disrupt the energy, that don't want to let other people down. I get all of that. I used to be that way. I understand it. But I now have boundaries. And if something doesn't fit into my day-to-day routine, I don't accommodate it. I don't even think about it. It's either going to fit into my life or it's not. And I suggest you do the same thing. Now, again, I'm a kind, loving individual. I'm an empath, and I'm proud of it. And many of you are, and you should be as well. But the days of us bending over backwards to accommodate other individuals who A, were narcissistic, or B, who didn't care about us, or C, who said things behind our backs, or D, who just looked at us as weak, those days are long over. Yeah, you people got us for a period of time, fair enough. Maybe most of our lives to this point, I get it, that was me. But I've now acquired the wisdom, and I utilize it each and every day, and I do what serves me in my time. Remember, in time, in your time, that's when you must apply these tools and the rules and understand that these boundaries are meant to be administered to benefit you. So all these people that perhaps you surrounded yourself with in the past, or you're removing yourself from these people now, remember, not everyone is not on the planet is not a good person. Not the best English, but what I'm trying to share with you is there are great people on the planet. There really are. There are good quality people, and I'm sure that you're one of them. But if you're surrounding yourself with individuals that don't serve you, or they are not who they act like, if their actions don't match their words and they're not who they appear to be, I suggest strongly, say no to them. Get them out of your life. Don't cause a ruckus. Don't stir the pot. Don't explain yourself. Don't defend yourself. You can just say no, and that's it. Remember, no is a complete sentence. It is a one-word sentence. No. So, hey, can you do this, this, and this? No. And if they look at you and they're scratching their head like, why? You've always said yes. What's going on now? Sorry, I don't have the time. I hope you find somebody to help you out. So, guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. No is a complete sentence. Remember, when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. Practice it. Practice it frequently. It will help you out. It will save your energy. It will save your time. It will save your resources. It will save your clarity. Let's put it that way. Guys, remember, you're not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye.